Assyria was an ancient region in the Near East. It became a powerful empire stretching from Mesopotamia, modern Iraq, through Asia Minor, modern Turkey, to Egypt under the Neo-Assyrian Empire. The empire started in the city of Ashur in Mesopotamia, where prosperous trade in Anatolia led to the city's growth. According to one interpretation from the Book of Genesis, Ashur was founded by a man named Ashur, son of Shem, after the Great Flood. Another likely explanation is that the city was named after a deity in the 3rd millennium BCE, and this god's name is the origin of Assyria. The biblical version, suggesting a connection to Noah, appears to be a reinterpretation influenced by later adoption of Christianity by the Assyrians. The Assyrians, initially Akkadian speakers, later adopted the more accessible Aramaic language. Historians divide the Assyrian Empire into 3 periods: the Old Kingdom, the Middle Empire, and the Late Empire, or Neo-Assyrian Empire. Although the empire declined, Assyrian history continued, and Assyrians still live in Iran, northern Iraq, and elsewhere today. The Assyrian Empire is recognized as the greatest among Mesopotamian empires due to its vast territory and the development of effective bureaucracy and military strategies. The Old Kingdom, the city of Ashur, is really old, going back to the 3rd millennium BCE, but the ruins we have now are from around 1900 BCE, and that's when people think the city was founded. Tudia was the first king, and the ones after him were called kings who lived in tents, suggesting they had a more rural lifestyle. Even back then, Ashur was an important place for trade, though we're not exactly sure how it looked. King Ereshum first built the Ashur temple around 1900–1905 BCE, and that's considered the official founding date of the city, even though there must have been some kind of city there before that. The trading hub of Karam-Kanesh was a big deal for Ashur, being one of the most profitable places for trade in the ancient Middle East. Ashur's merchants went to Kanesh, started businesses, left trusted family members to run them, and then went back to Ashur to oversee things from there. The rise of Ashur, the prosperity gained from trade in Karam-Kanesh, played a pivotal role in shaping the destiny of Ashur, laying the groundwork for the ascension of the Assyrian Empire. This economic boon not only provided stability and security to the people of Ashur, but also fueled the expansion of the city itself. Furthermore, trade relations with Anatolia were of paramount importance, as they supplied the Assyrians with essential raw materials crucial for perfecting the craft of ironworking. The strategic advantage gained from the production of superior iron weapons became a decisive factor in the military campaigns that eventually led to the Assyrians conquering the entire Middle East. However, before this era of imperial dominance could unfold, the political landscape needed a transformative shift. At that time, the Hurrians and the Hatti held sway over the Anatolian region, casting a shadow over Ashur in Mesopotamia to the north. Concurrently, the Amorites were steadily settling in the area, amassing land and resources, posing a potential threat to Assyrian interests. The emergence of Shamashi-Adad I, 1813–1791 BCE, marked a crucial turning point. This Assyrian king successfully drove the Amorites out, fortifying Assyria's borders and proclaiming Ashur as the capital of his kingdom, while the Hatti maintained dominance until their assimilation by the Hittites around 1700 BCE. A more imminent challenge was brewing to the southwest, the rising power of Babylon. Over the course of a century, the Amorites in Babylon grew in influence, with King Sin-Muballit ascending to the throne around 1792 BCE. His successor, King Hammurabi, 1792–1750 BCE, asserted authority over Assyrian lands, marking a significant shift in regional dynamics. Concurrently, trade ties between Ashur and Karam-Kanesh ceased as Babylon asserted control over trade with Assyria. Following Hammurabi's demise in 1750 BCE, the Babylonian Empire underwent a period of fragmentation, presenting an opportunity for Assyria to reclaim influence. However, internal strife erupted, and stability was only restored during the reign of the Assyrian king Adasi, c. 1726–1691 BCE. Although Adasi and his successors maintained stability, the expansion of the kingdom did not materialize, whether due to inability or reluctance, leaving Assyria at a crossroads in its historical trajectory. The Middle Empire, the vast kingdom of Mitanni, once held sway over Assyria, emerging from eastern Anatolia and extending its dominance to Mesopotamia by the 14th century BCE. During this period, Assyria found itself under the control of Mitanni. However, the Hittite invasions led by King Suppiluliuma I, reigning from 1344 to 1322 BCE, shattered Mitanni's power. Simultaneously, Assyrian king Erebba-Adad I seized an opportunity to gain influence at the Mitanni, now mainly Hittite, court. With the decline of Mitanni, the Assyrians saw a chance to assert their autonomy and initiated the expansion of their kingdom outward from the city of Ashur into the territories once held by Mitanni. The Hittites responded, successfully resisting Assyrian advances until the reign of King Ashur-uballit I, who, between circa 1353 and 1318 BCE, defeated the remaining Mitanni forces under Hittite commanders and secured significant portions of the region. Following Ashur-uballit I, subsequent kings maintained the gains but made no substantial expansions until the reign of King Adad-nirari I, who ruled from circa 1307 to 1275 BCE. Adad-nirari I played a pivotal role in expanding the Assyrian Empire, driving out the Hittites and conquering their major strongholds both to the north and south. Adad-nirari I stands out as the first Assyrian king about whom there is substantial historical knowledge, thanks to inscriptions detailing his accomplishments that have survived largely intact. Additionally, preserved letters exchanged between the Assyrian king and Hittite rulers reveal an initial lack of regard for the Assyrian rulers by others in the region. However, as the Assyrians demonstrated their growing power and influence, they eventually became a force that could not be ignored. Assyrian conquest of Mitanni and the Hittites. Shalmaneser I, the son of the previous king, finished defeating the Mitanni and absorbed their culture. He continued his father's policies, like moving people around. His son, Tukulti-Ninurta I, took things further. He was interested in learning from the people he conquered, especially scribes and scholars. These educated individuals were carefully chosen and sent to cities to help with writing and managing the empire. Tukulti-Ninurta I was also a skilled writer and composed an epic poem about defeating the king of Babylon and another about defeating the Elamites. He won a crucial battle against the Hittites, which weakened their power. When Babylon tried to invade Assyria, Tukulti-Ninurta I punished them severely by sacking their city, taking the king and some people as slaves back to Assur. He used the wealth from Babylon to renovate his grand palace in a new city, Kar-Tukulti-Ninurta, built across from Assur. However, when people turned against him for disrespecting the Babylonian temples, he retreated to his new city. His actions angered the gods, shared by both Assyrians and Babylonians, leading to a rebellion. Tukulti-Ninurta I was assassinated, likely by one of his sons, Ashur-nadin-apli, who then became the new king. Tiglath-Pileser and revitalization. After Tukulti-Ninurta I's death, the Assyrian Empire kind of paused. While other nearby civilizations collapsed in the Dark Age after the Bronze Age collapse around 1200 BCE, Assyria didn't collapse but lost its momentum. The culture, focused on military campaigns and conquest, continued, but the empire didn't expand like it did under Tukulti-Ninurta I. Things changed when Tiglath-Pileser I became king around 1115 BCE. In the 11th century BCE, he boosted the economy and military through campaigns, adding more resources and skilled people to the Assyrian Empire. Literacy and the arts flourished, and his effort to preserve cuneiform tablets set an example for future rulers like Ashurbanipal. Tiglath-Pileser's son, Ashurid-apal-Ekur, continued his policies for 2 years after his death. Then, his brother Ashur-bel-Kala took over and reigned successfully until a rebellion threw the empire into civil war. Although the rebellion was crushed, it led to regions breaking free, including Eber-Nari, modern-day Syria, Lebanon, and Israel, which had important seaports. The Arameans took over Eber-Nari and started making trouble in the rest of the empire. At the same time, the Amorites in Babylon and the city of Mari tried to challenge the empire's control. The kings after Ashur-bel-Kala, like Shalmaneser II and Tiglath-Pileser II, held on to the core around Ashur but couldn't retake Eber-Nari or fully get rid of the Arameans and Amorites. The empire got smaller with attacks from outside and rebellions from inside. Without a strong king to boost the military, Assyria entered another period of stasis where they held on to what they had but couldn't do much more. The Neo-Assyrian Empire, the Late Empire or the Neo-Assyrian Empire, stands out in ancient history for being the period of the Assyrian Empire's most extensive expansion, and it's also the time that has contributed significantly to the empire's reputation for ruthlessness and cruelty. While the Assyrians are known for their decisive and ruthless military tactics, it's important to note that comparing them to the Nazi regime is not entirely accurate. Unlike the Nazis, the Assyrians treated the people they conquered relatively well, as discussed earlier. Once conquered people submitted to the central authority, they were considered Assyrians, and there was no concept of a master race in Assyrian policies. Every individual, whether born Assyrian or assimilated into the culture, was regarded as an asset to the empire. The revival of Assyria came in the 10th century BCE with the rise of King Adad-nirari II, reigned c. 912–891 BCE. He played a crucial role in reconquering lost lands, including Iba-Nari, and securing the empire's borders. In dealing with the defeated Arameans, Adad-nirari II either executed them or relocated them to regions within the heartland of Assyria. Additionally, he successfully conquered Babylon. Learning from past mistakes, Adad-nirari II opted not to plunder the city. Instead, he entered into a peace agreement with the Babylonian king, involving mutual marriages between their daughters and a commitment to loyalty. This strategic treaty transformed Babylon into a powerful ally, alleviating its status as a constant source of problems for the next 80 years. Military expansion. After Adad-nirari II, other kings continued the same policies and expanded the Assyrian Empire. Tukulti-Ninurta II expanded to the north and gained more territory in Anatolia, while Ashur-nasirpal II ruled in the Levant and extended Assyrian control through Canaan. They mostly conquered cities through brutal siege warfare. During this time, Assyrians made progress in medicine, building on the knowledge of the Sumerians and those they conquered. Ashur-nasirpal II made lists of plants and animals and brought scribes on campaigns to record new discoveries. Schools were established, but only for wealthy boys. Girls couldn't attend or hold authority. Women's rights declined as Assyrian monotheism rose. As Assyrian armies campaigned, their god Ashur went with them, and a new way of imagining the god emerged to worship in different places. This unity of vision helped unify the empire's regions. The gods of conquered peoples became part of the worship of Ashur, recognized as the one true god. Assyrian culture became more cohesive with the empire's expansion, the new understanding of the deity and assimilation of conquered people. Shalmaneser III expanded the empire to the Mediterranean coast, receiving tribute from Phoenician cities and defeating the Armenian kingdom of Urartu. After his reign, civil war erupted and expansion stopped. The regent Shahmuramat held the throne for her son Adad-nirari III, and secured the empire's borders, organizing campaigns in the north. When Adad-nirari III came of age, he expanded the empire further. However, his successors preferred to rest on past accomplishments, leading to a period of stagnation. The military suffered under kings like Ashur-dan III and Ashur-nirari V. The great kings of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, in the 8th century BCE, Tiglath-Pileser III revitalized the Assyrian Empire. He reorganized the military, restructured the government, and reconquered the Mediterranean coast and Babylon. Tiglath-Pileser III made the Assyrian army the most effective in history at that time, setting a model for future armies. Shalmaneser V and Sargon II continued these policies, expanding the empire. Despite challenges to his rule, Sargon II maintained the empire's cohesion and defeated Urartu in 714 BCE. His son Sennacherib ruthlessly conquered Israel, Judah, and Greek provinces. Sennacherib sacked Jerusalem, but the biblical account suggests divine intervention saved the city. Sennacherib's military victories increased the empire's wealth, and he moved the capital to Nineveh, building a grand palace. Sennacherib's sons assassinated him for destroying Babylon. Esarhaddon, his son, took over and rebuilt Babylon, claiming the gods chose him for restoration. Esarhaddon conquered Egypt, and expanded the empire's borders from modern-day Iran to Sudan through Lebanon, Israel, and Turkey. His reign brought stability and advances in medicine, literacy, mathematics, astronomy, architecture, and the arts. To ensure a smooth transition of power, Esarhaddon's mother Zakutu made treaties with the Persians and the Medes, known as the Loyalty Treaty of Nakia Zakutu. This secured submission to Esarhaddon's successor. After Esarhaddon, Ashurbanipal became the last great Assyrian king, ruling from 668 to 627 BCE. Known for his literacy, Ashurbanipal built a vast library at Nineveh. Despite being a patron of the arts, Ashurbanipal was ruthless in expanding and securing the empire. He defeated the Elamites, expanded the empire to the east and north, and preserved the past by collecting books from every city for his library. After Ashurbanipal's 42-year rule, the empire faced challenges. Overextension and difficulty defending borders led to its decline. His successors couldn't hold the territories together, and revolts erupted. In 612 BCE, Nineveh was sacked by a coalition, leading to the empire's fall. The destruction unintentionally preserved Ashurbanipal's library, buried in the ruins for 2,000 years, as the once great Assyrian cities vanished from memory. Herodotus, a Greek historian, helped scholars know about Mesopotamian culture, especially Assyria, unlike the Sumerians discovered in the 19th century. Assyriology, the study of Mesopotamia, was traditionally named after the Assyrians due to Greek and Roman sources. The Assyrians spread Mesopotamian culture across their empire, influencing regions like Israel and Greece. Tiglath-Pileser III introduced Aramaic as the empire's language, preserving Akkadian and Sumerian writings for later scholars. After Assyria's decline, Babylon ruled from 605 to 549 BCE, then fell to the Persians under Cyrus the Great. Alexander the Great and the Seleucid Empire followed. The region, once Assyria, became Syria after the Parthians defeated the Seleucids. Rome took over in 116 CE, followed by the Sassanid Empire, until the Arab conquests in the 7th century CE, ending Assyria as a nation. One significant Assyrian legacy is the Aramaic alphabet, brought by Tiglath-Pileser III. It made writing easier than Akkadian, preserving thousands of years of history and culture in documents translated or written in Aramaic, ensuring Assyria's lasting impact. In conclusion, the Assyrian Empire, born in Ashur, left an unforgettable mark on history. Their mighty empire, administrative innovations, and cultural contributions shaped the ancient world. Despite their eventual decline, the Assyrians' influence endures through the Aramaic alphabet, preserving knowledge for generations. Join us in marveling at the Assyrian legacy, captivating tales of conquests and a civilization's profound impact. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more explorations into our intriguing past. Thank you for joining us. Stay curious and keep discovering the wonders of our shared human history.